Welcome to Humble and Hungry, episode number 7. It is lucky number 7, and I am feeling so fortunate today because I have a really great guest I get to introduce you to. Chelsea Castiglia is joining me, and we are talking all about the way she crushed her fitness goals, and she started it by doing something small. Chelsea at one point had pain when she would just take about 5 steps in her knee, and now she is running half marathons. Along the way throughout her journey, she also conquered a major weight loss goal. So we are so lucky to have Chelsea with us today to learn her story. I also asked Chelsea to join me to talk a little bit about the very dreaded social situations when anyone is on a diet or an eating plan that's tough to manage. So Chelsea and I also dig in to how you can conquer those tough social situations this summer. Hi, Chelsea, and welcome to Humble and Hungry. I'm so thrilled to have you here on my YouTube channel. You are one of the guests I just couldn't wait to feature when I started my channel, so thank you so much for being here. To our audience, Chelsea Castiglia is someone that I've known for a long time, and I've watched reach really amazing fitness and weight loss goals. And I just know she's really comfortable and confident sharing her inspiring story. So I invited her here today. So Chelsea, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for having me. You're someone who has always inspired me with your journey. So to be able to have this conversation with you today is so exciting. So a little bit about me. I lost about 80 pounds in the span of just over a year and a half and about a year and a half. And what I think is really exciting and different about my story is I didn't start losing weight until losing weight was no longer my goal. So I know that sounds silly, but I wanted to be skinny my whole life and I tried all sorts of things and nothing worked. But I found myself in a position, I was 25, I had a 1-year-old son, and I had really bad knee pain. So I couldn't walk more than 5 steps without being in pain. And I couldn't get down on the floor with my active 1-year-old, and that broke my heart. So I knew I needed a change. And it's funny, one of your recent episodes, you were talking about weight bias and doctors in particular. And I had such a bad experience. I went to the doctor. He pretty much called me fat and told me to eat some sugar-free Jell-O. And I'll never forget that. Worst advice ever. So that was years even before I had my son. I was struggling with weight, but anyway, I got myself to a new doctor, and what was really inspiring is this doctor could clearly see on my chart that I was obese. I expressed that I had some knee pain, and rather than blaming my weight or telling me to lose weight, he suggested physical therapy. So something I never thought of, but this doctor cared about me. He wanted me to strengthen myself and get better. So anyway, I got to physical therapy. And turns out that is just exercises with certain equipment. So after paying a lot of money and traveling a lot for PT, it got me in the free gym at work, which I forgot existed. So strengthened my knee at the gym at work. And that's where I discovered Zumba. And for the first time in my life, I found out that working out can actually be fun. So that's what kickstarted my journey. I know that's a long-winded story, but I think it's really important that my main goal was not to lose weight. It was to get stronger and to be more active with my son.
That's amazing. That's amazing and so special. And I'm so glad you found a doctor who could support you and give you what you really needed. Because I don't think sugar-free Jell-O is a very good answer. So when you started this journey, obviously you said your motivation was getting more comfortable, losing that knee pain. Did you have any other big motivations that kicked you off?
Yeah. So my son, first and foremost, just being able to be active with him. And there was a weight loss program at work that we had like a team of people. So I had a group of friends that had similar goals that wanted to get stronger or start this fitness journey. So to have a couple people in my corner with the same goals really helped support that. And it meant a lot. And they're still my buddies. We still text when we have wins or different victories. And that's always something that was really special to have them in the beginning of my journey.
I love that. It's funny because I think weight loss journeys or any type of fitness or health journey can be so personal, like, as an individual, but it can also be such a group thing. It can also be so social and motivating that way. So it sounds like you had both elements going for you, which is so cool.
Absolutely.
So how were you so successful? Like, how did you do all of the parts that kind of went together to put this together?
Absolutely. I think what's so important is, and I talk a lot about the strength aspect and me working out, but food is obviously also important. So I'm a big believer of not really limiting yourself on anything. So for example, I love bagels, but I ate a bagel every single day in the morning. So when I changed to this different mindset, I told myself I could still eat bagels, but maybe once or twice a week rather than 5 or 6 days. And that really helped me to stay on track and not eat a dozen bagels in one sitting. So that still to this day, I'm a big advocate of not fully restricting yourself from anything to help you stay on track. So, and that's hard for me because I really am an all or nothing kind of person in most aspects, but that's really kept me on track. And I don't know, I think that was the biggest thing. And also just seeing my progress and seeing myself as I lost weight. I joke saying I just went to go get strong and losing weight was a side effect. So seeing those little wins, whether it was a scale victory or a non-scale victory, really just kept motivating me, and seeing other people succeed around me with their journeys. Just like I said, yours is one that really has always inspired me, and knowing what it can do for people has been great.
Wow, that's awesome. So I know a big part of your story is running. You've become a very accomplished runner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell me why you started running? Like how that became a part of your life?
Yeah, so I'm going to geek out a little bit here to the audience. I'm warning you. So my journey, I don't know that I talked about dates. So started in about November of 2018. So started with the physical therapy then and Zumba, and incorporated strength workouts and spinning and all sorts of things. But about 6 months into that journey, I wanted something a little bit more challenging. I knew that I was capable. And I always wanted to be a runner. I would see people run and think, wow, they're just doing that for fun? That's crazy. So I'm now that person, but I gave myself a challenge. So I signed up for the corporate challenge, which was June of 2019.
Okay.
So that April, I downloaded the Couch to 5K app. And this is not a paid ad, but I swear to you, it works. And it works because it teaches you to run smart. So you start by running for a minute, and then you walk for a minute and a half. And then as the weeks progress, you run longer and walk less. I'll never forget the day that I ran 5 minutes straight, and I walked into my mom's house with tears saying, I just ran for 5 minutes. And so I did my first 5K, or the corporate challenge. It's about 3.5 miles. And for me, running escalated pretty quickly. So did the corporate challenge, and then November, so a couple months later, I did the Turkey Trot, which is a 5-mile race. And then that following February, I ran my first half marathon. So in less than a year of running for 1 minute, I ran for 2 hours and 18 minutes straight. So and I laugh. I actually Googled how many steps a half marathon is, because I went from being in pain walking 5 steps to running straight through approximately 20,000 steps without pain. So
That's amazing.
it still blows my mind. I get a little teary-eyed thinking of it. But what I really want
I'm
to share,
getting teary-eyed thinking about it.
it's crazy. And what I love so much about running is, although people sign up for races and are technically competing against other people, it really is just about you and your own goals. So and the best part about it is you never run out of goals. So you either have a new pace goal, you want to get faster, you want to run further, or you want to work on your stride. So I'm such a goal-oriented person, and I know I will never run out of a running goal. So that's what I love about it. And the people are just so supportive. I've met so many friends. I've met my boyfriend through running, and everyone really just gets excited for other people about their goals. And I think it's really special. I know I sound really dorky about it, but it's really changed my life to the point where I can relate running to almost anything. So just the challenges and the benefits of it, I think, are incredible and never ending.
That's amazing. So inspiring. And you kind of answered my next question for me, but I was going to ask, like, just what's the best part of your new lifestyle? Like, what do you like when you wake up in the morning and think like, I've accomplished so much, I feel so good. Like, what's the best part of your new lifestyle?
So I'll actually tell you, I realized it the other day. I took my son to the playground and I was able to go down the kiddie slide with him, and just to think back to me not being able to get down on the ground and play with blocks, to me now chasing him around the playground and literally going down a slide for a 5-year-old. I was like, yes, I'm able to do this. And my son's 4, so he's not racing with me right now, but he watches me run. Sometimes my mom will watch him and they'll go for a walk and he sees me and he'll cheer me on and say, go mom, go. So for him to be able to see that and to see what I've been able to overcome and work through, I hope that has a lasting impact on him. So that's really my biggest thing, is showing him that anything is possible.
Oh, so inspiring. You're making me want to cry.
We can cry it out. It's fine.
Well, I think something like unique about this conversation is that we've accomplished similar goals, but like in totally different ways, but we can appreciate it for each other so sincerely. And just like hearing your example, like the fact that you like valued like going down that slide so much, I can totally identify with like doing things I just never thought about doing before. Yes. And then all of a sudden it was just possible. And people don't know how emotional that is. Like
it is.
It's like that like hits me deep thinking about you feeling that way, because that's so special. So I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you.
So speaking of how we kind of have a unique journey and we can kind of talk about things more candidly because we understand it. Usually when people are on diets or losing weight or doing fitness journeys, a big obstacle are when people go to social situations. So I thought it would be fun if we talked a little bit about how people can navigate social situations now that social situations are a thing again. COVID is, the world's opening up a little bit, but people are going outside, people are mingling a little bit more. And I thought it would be fun, since we're both kind of experts in getting through social situations, that we could just talk a little bit about how to navigate that world and how people can be prepared and comfortable to go into those situations. So if you're up for it, I'd like to talk a little bit about that, and just kind of know and understand like how you navigated social situations while you were being so careful and working with moderation in your diet.
Absolutely. I have a couple examples that I'm excited to share. So
please do.
If you caught, I said my journey started November of 2018. So what happens in November? It kicks off holiday season. So
I'm impressed if you started then.
Yes. I'm thankful though, because I'm a person that always said like, oh, I'll start after the holidays or I'll start on Monday. I was always that person that would find an excuse to not quote unquote get started. So I found myself in that unique situation where I was pushed into social situations. I was going to parties almost every week to celebrate the holidays. And the best piece of advice I can give is I would always offer to bring a healthy snack. So I would bring, if it was a potluck type situation, I would bring veggies and hummus or a fruit platter or a semi-healthy dessert or just something that I knew I could rely on and I could load up on.
Yeah.
So that way, walking into that situation, I know I had at least one option. So and from there, I'm a snacker too. So if I see the chips and dip, I want the chips and dip. So I would load up on whatever healthy thing I brought. And then, like I said, I don't like limiting completely. So I would take maybe one chicken wing or a half a slice of pizza, and most of my plate would be the thing that I brought. So I think it's really important to put it out there and offer, hey, I'll bring this. And you're never wondering, am I going to starve? Is there going to be any options for me? And that really helps me navigate that. And people like healthy food. I think that's something too, is people get excited to try these new lentil chips I brought or this new brand of hummus. So I just made it fun and made it exciting. And I think that's a better option than, I've tried this, I'm sure you have before, where you eat your food or what you can have beforehand. And then you get more questions when you're not eating. You get are you starving yourself? Why aren't you eating? And you feel more pressure. So I've found for myself personally that doesn't work. So bringing something, and so that's like a party situation. But when happy hour was a thing, that was always an issue too. And I have vivid memories of being at happy hour with my friends that were on this journey with me. And I would pull out a protein bar from my purse or pull out a little bag of almonds so that I didn't give in to maybe ordering something that I knew would take me off track or derail me. And I would have my protein bar in peace and just be on my way. And that way I didn't have to avoid going to those events. I think that's something that a lot of people do because you feel really good when you're on a streak and then you don't want to derail your progress.
That's awesome. I feel like you're saying like basically like be prepared for like the situations where you need something. And also something that's just kind of striking to me is if you give yourself grace and like realistic expectations. Like I can have a little bit and it's fine. Like it's a part of doing it. So
Yes.
many people get caught up in like, if they have one bad thing, it like brings them down. But if you just make it a part of your plan, it's actually perfectly fine and doesn't derail you at all. So I think that's such a good example for people. Did you ever have situations where people said like uncomfortable things or questions, and like how did you handle those?
Absolutely. And I struggle with this answer because I can't think in the moment how I handled them, but it definitely happened. And I think for anyone in that situation, you just have to feel confident enough to know that you're doing something to better yourself and something that makes you feel good. So people can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, you can make a joke or just explain to them, yeah, I'm working on this. I have a goal. I am really working towards something, and this helps me stay on track. So it's uncomfortable, and people say some nasty things and some uncomfortable things, as I know you've experienced as well. And at the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself and for no one else. And I feel very strongly about that. I am no longer ashamed to whip out my protein bar at the bar because I know that I can be in a social situation and still meet my goals.
Yeah. So that confidence, I hope, spills out to people and people feel that, because I think if you have that confidence about it, it's probably obviously just so empowering to get through those situations. So what advice, I guess, in general about social situations for people who are like really anxious about it, would you share?
Of course, definitely the being prepared is big. I'm a very much a planner, so I know going to events, you think of everything that can maybe go wrong. So just planning ahead and understanding that you may have to answer some of those questions. So you bring up a good point. They are going to happen. People are going to have comments, but if you prepare on how to answer them and how to feel that confidence, I think coping ahead is something that I've learned through therapy that I am a big advocate of, is coping ahead so that you know how to deal with the anxiety. And also, I mean, if it's a friend that you're close with or somebody's hosting something, asking them, will you have something that I will feel comfortable with, or what can I bring to help make this easier? And also bringing your own water bottle. I know that's silly, but I just saw my water bottle out of the corner of my eye, and to be able to, I know like cutting out alcohol was a big part of my journey, not the entire time, but it's something that helped me stay on track. So I would bring my own beverages as well. And just being prepared, I guess, is the best answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you how many weddings I went to where I would just ask for a short glass of like seltzer water with lime. And I'm like, oh, no one needs to know it's not
No,
cocktail and it's nobody's business. So
absolutely. I think
I had a lot of bartenders be like, got it. I'm like,
yeah,
this is healthy, but
I experienced that as well. And that's, I think, another thing is people say, why aren't you drinking? And it's, again, none of their business, but to be able to prepare for that. And I've been also to many weddings with my soda water and lime to avoid those questions.
And like, did it ever take away from your good time?
Not at all.
And did you feel better the next day? 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we are living proof to people that it doesn't take away from it. It makes you feel better. So
absolutely.
I think it's such a testament to so many people are like, how do you have fun at weddings? Or how do you is it fun going out? I'm like, it's more fun, you know?
Yes.
So I'm so happy you're on the same page as me, because I think that makes me feel more confident in telling people that opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I didn't drink for my whole half marathon training. So it was like 12 weeks and I had 3 weddings in that time span. And the first 2, I didn't tell anyone that I wasn't drinking. I just did my own thing and told them all what happened the next day. So, and then from there, I just felt more confident that it was my decision to help keep me focused through my training, and just feeling that confidence to know and remind yourself, anyone that has a goal, just continue to remind yourself that it is your goal and it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say.
Exactly. So if anyone watching has like a big or small goal, whether it's weight loss related or fitness related, what can they learn from your story? Like, what do you want someone to take away from it?
Of course, first and foremost, start small. Start with chunk goals, I guess. I never really had like an official weight loss goal. 80 pounds just landed from the time that I started to me being at the start line for the half marathon. So it just worked for me, and it'll change throughout the years, I'm sure. I'm guilty of gaining a little bit from the pandemic, but still maintaining my fitness goals. So start small. Like I said, that minute at a time increased to me running for almost 2.5 hours straight. And wouldn't have been possible if my first goal was to run a half marathon. It would just seem insane. So starting small, and again, my grandma always says, everything in moderation, honey. And I don't quite believe that, but giving yourself that grace. And if you really love something, you don't have to completely give it up, but understand how you can incorporate it into your diet. without feeling guilty about it and without having it every single day. I guess the bagel example is my favorite.
Yeah, and so relatable. So
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much. I think first of all, I'm just so appreciative of your time and you sharing your story. I know it's personal and I know you're happy to share it, but I do appreciate it so much. And I think first, you're such just a nice person. I've gotten to know you a little bit. You're just such a nice person, and getting to share this experience with you and with our audience is so special to me, and I really appreciate it. So congratulations on everything you've accomplished. I'm excited to watch all of your races coming up and watch you cross all those finish lines. And thank you so much for being here. I hope to have you back soon. Maybe we can dig more into how to run. And I know you are active with the Buffalo Run Club and everything. So maybe we have some more episodes to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I could talk about running all day. So
maybe we should. So that's a great idea. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily.
Chelsea, thank you so much for coming on Humble and Hungry and sharing your story. It is motivating and inspiring, and I'm sure everyone who watched learned something from you. So thank you so much for being here. If you followed along our conversation and thought, hey, I have something I can really add in here, I would love to hear from you. Please comment below here on this YouTube video or go over to my Instagram page and let me know what you think. Because if you have anything to add to the conversation, it is very worthwhile and you may help someone else. So please leave your comments below, and I appreciate hearing from you. It is time now for our Humble and Hungry Happy Thought. Honestly, our whole episode today was very happy and very optimistic. So I hope you're feeling motivated and hopeful. So for today's Humble and Hungry Happy Thought, I thought I would share a popular quote by Brené Brown that's about hope and about setting goals. So I thought it was perfect for today. So the quote says, "Hope happens when we can set goals, have the tenacity and perseverance to pursue those goals, and believe in our own abilities to act." That's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for joining me here on Humble and Hungry.